Meet Adam Krueger, the chief meteorologist for Fox 11. You can catch his forecasts at 5, 6, 10, and 11 p.m. Adam, his wife, and their 2 kids are thrilled to now call LA home. Adam's a self-proclaimed weather geek with over 20 years of experience tackling extreme weather. From floods to wildfires, he's seen it all. You might recognize Adam from his viral social media videos. When he's not forecasting or creating content, Adam loves exploring the great outdoors with his family in sunny Southern California.
Adam, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Adam Krueger. I'm the chief meteorologist here at Fox 11 in LA, and I'm also known as Weather Adam on social media.
What's your favorite time of day?
Favorite time of day is 2 parts. One, so I hate getting up in the morning, but once I'm up, I love being up. So I love it when it's early and if I'm up before everyone else in the house. But I also love late at night when I kind of have the house to myself as well. And I can kind of like be with my thoughts and think about the next day and things are, I guess what I'm saying is I like when it's quiet. So early in the morning, late at night.
What's your biggest weakness?
Biggest weakness might be maybe time management. I tend to put things off. I'm really good in crunch time. So if I have a lot to do in a short amount of time, I'm good at that. But if I know there's something way off in the distance, I might procrastinate a little bit and then kind of, get in a pickle where I had to do a lot of stuff all at the last moment. So let's go with time management.
What's your biggest strength?
Strength might be problem solving and kind of like being calm under pressure.
What's the biggest learning experience you've had?
My biggest learning experience is probably to embrace negative things that might happen, things that might seem kind of devastating at the time. And I'm thinking maybe in terms of like career, if you're told no, or you were hoping for some opportunity and you don't get it, in the long run, sometimes those actually turn out to be beneficial things.
Are you more of an introvert or extrovert?
Definitely more of an introvert. I can play the part of an extrovert, but I feel like an introvert at heart.
What's your idea of a perfect date?
Perfect date? So I've been married for, let's see, do the math, 15 or 16 years, coming up on 16 years. And so dates are different now than they used to be. I've got kids. So just getting a moment away from the kids with my wife. But I love daytime stuff. So, outdoor things, whether it's at the beach, especially here in California. Also, there's a lot of times when my wife and I are on a date or with each other and wishing that we could also be with friends, like sharing that moment with friends. So like a double date or something like that would be an ideal date for me.
What's one vice you wish you could give up?
I'm pretty bad with sweets and I kind of black out when I'm eating a dessert and will just mow through like a box of cookies. So that doesn't go over well. And I could feel it at night when I'm going to bed that I just had like way too much sugar. So if I could just minimize the sugar intake, moderation would help.
What's a cause that's important to you?
So I have a soft spot for natural disasters, mostly weather-related things. And it's not just because of my profession, but I've also been through weather disasters myself. And so I really like to endorse Team Rubicon, which is kind of like the Red Cross, but they're a veteran-led version of the Red Cross kind of. So it's veterans, and they know how to do this kind of work better than anyone. They're built to serve is their motto. So Team Rubicon, they're like the Red Cross. They help out in natural disasters, and they're mostly all veterans.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
So, man, best compliment. I get a lot of comments, and we'll talk about social media in a little bit, but I get a lot of, like thousands of comments, sometimes in a day, on my social media content. And the compliments that mean the most are the people that say that what I'm providing them on social media gives them a lot of joy, and they look forward to seeing it, and it means a lot to them to have that moment where they're smiling or laughing at something I might post on social media. And to be able to provide that to people is a special thing. So that's a good compliment when people really enjoy what I'm posting on social media.
When do you feel the most inspired?
I feel the most inspired when I see people doing just top level work, or maybe doing something similar to me, but I feel like they're doing it better than I am. And I kind of think in terms of weather, if I see someone presenting the weather in a way that's like just smooth and telling a great weather story and thinking of something that I might not have thought of, that inspires me to want to do better.
Sweet or savory?
I hate sweet when it comes to meals. So savory meals, savory snacks, but then you get past that point, and when it's dessert time, like I want the richest, sweetest dessert, and like I said earlier, I eat too much of it.
What song can you listen to on repeat?
Song on repeat is a good question. I love rap more than any other genre, and if I had to pick one song, it might be, I'm always in a good mood or excited when I hear California Love, and I'm not just saying that because we're in California, but Tupac, Dr. Dre, California Love, it's when it comes on, it's like, okay, let's go. I could listen to this on repeat, all day long.
What inspired you to do TikTok videos?
To do TikTok videos, so I was just tinkering with it when TikTok was relatively new, and it was just a way to have fun at work. Sometimes work can be mundane, and I think it's important to inject some fun into work. And so I started doing these videos where I would use a word of the day in the weather and just figure out a sneaky way to insert it in the weather. That evolved into my followers suggesting that I try some other things, and they're the ones that got me into where I am now, where I'm doing all this crazy stuff with song lyrics in the weather.
What makes you smile the most?
It's funny because I think people that know me will say that I don't give enough of a reaction and I don't laugh out loud often, but when I see really good stand-up comedy that just makes me like cry, laugh, it's the greatest thing, because I feel like I'm not easily entertained in a lot of other parts of life. So stand-up comedy or improv comedy, just that gets me. And I have a deep appreciation, especially for improv comedy. I think it's like the coolest thing to be able to be wired that way in your brain.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
Something people don't know about me? A few things might be, one, that I play guitar. Two, that I used to be a gymnast in high school, second in state in the state of Illinois at my high school. So another thing, okay, I don't know, this just comes to mind. The suit I'm wearing, I wear it a lot. I just noticed recently that the stitching in the back, on the back pockets, is starting to separate. And so until I can get a new suit, which might be this weekend, I had to color in the, where the white back pockets are visible through the suit. I had to color it in black with a Sharpie so that, like, if you're walking behind me, you don't see these white spots where the threads are separated on the back of my suit. You can throw a picture of that in later if you want.
Sneakers or flip-flops?
Hate flip-flops. I feel like I have old man feet. My heels hurt all the time. I'm always in sneakers. I need like as much cushion between my foot and the floor as possible.
Vintage or new?
Not a fan of vintage. Love new stuff, love new technology, even the negatives that come with it, like trying to work through things or figure things out. But I'm a big fan of new stuff, new technology for sure.
What are 3 things you can't live without?
Can't live without coffee, right off the bat. It's my favorite part of waking up in the morning. I'll say my family, my wife and my kids, and music.
Window or aisle seat?
I often sit in the aisle, but I always wish that I had chosen window, because I'm always trying to lean out like over people to look at what's outside, whether it's the clouds or the ground. I'm very fascinated by that, but I like to put my leg out in the aisle and hopefully not get in the way of the drink cart.
What's your favorite TikTok you've made?
Favorite TikTok I made? The first thing that comes to mind is the Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. It was probably my most viral one, and it just worked well. It flowed well. It kind of like went with the beat. It had these fan favorite moments in it. That one and Lil Jon Get Low, which when I started doing these song lyrics in the weather, I knew I always wanted to do Get Low right off the bat, and I needed the perfect set of circumstances to deliver it just the way I wanted. So probably those two.
Take us through the process of sneaking lyrics in.
It's a pretty long process to sneak lyrics in the weather. So it usually involves, and I've got this on the Notes app on my phone, just a list of all these ideas I have and certain circumstances I need in the weather for those songs to work. So I'll think about it like the day or two before and brainstorm, and then I come to work and I try to figure out how to put graphics together, and also not sound like, I don't want to sound like a crazy person on TV. So I really work hard on trying to weave it into the weather, but in a way that makes sense, where if someone's watching and they don't know I'm doing that nothing sounds off to them. It's quite a process. I mean, it's some hours to think about it, some hours to put it together and edit it, and maybe an hour or two to even post it on all the platforms.
Morning person or night owl?
A night owl, for sure. Like I said, if I can get up in the morning, I'm glad I'm up, but I've always been more of a night person.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done in your life?
The most adventurous thing might be overcoming the awkward feeling of putting myself out there on social media. I haven't done skydiving or bungee jumping, minimal international travel. I'm happy just like traveling around the US. There's so much to do here. So I think it's just like getting over the uncomfortableness. Like public speaking is not a comfortable thing for me. Even being on camera is like initially just an awkward feeling for me that I've learned to get over. So I think just putting myself out there and being vulnerable on social media.
How would you define yourself in 3 words?
In 3 words, I think clever, creative, and playful.
What's your current favorite piece of clothing that you own?
So I wear these joggers, these pants, almost every day for like years. The first thing I put on in the morning, like to get the kids to school, always wear these. They're starting to like have little holes in the knees and where they get worn out, which I'm starting to notice a theme now with my clothing, is that it's starting to have holes. So I think I need some new clothes.
What's a must-have piece of clothing that everyone should own?
You gotta have a hoodie. I don't know what it is about a hoodie. Even you take a sweatshirt without the hood and it's not nearly as comfortable as the hoodie. Just that thing sitting back here. I can wear a hoodie every single day.
What's inspiring you in life right now?
Inspiring me in life, first thing that comes to mind would be my kids and how they are handling the fact that we have moved a few times in their life. They've lived in Texas all their life until we came here to California, and they've been very resilient in the move and dealing with COVID, and we did school from home for a little bit during that time. So I'm inspired by them, learning a lot from them. I don't know if I could handle it when I was a kid the way that they've been handling it now. They're doing great with it.
What the heck is an atmospheric river?
An atmospheric river is let's see. So there are a lot of layers in the atmosphere. There's at the surface where we live here, but then you go miles up in the atmosphere, there's different types of weather happening. An atmospheric river is essentially just a stream of high moisture content in the atmosphere. And if you imagine like like a river or like a train that's gonna keep running over the same area, where the cars of the train keep running over the same area over and over. So an atmospheric river would just be pointed at us and a constant flow of moisture, sometimes for 1,000 or 2,000 miles, which obviously then can lead to some devastating flooding that California has experienced many times from that.
Favorite sports teams?
Favorite teams, so I'm from Chicago, so my favorite teams, I mean, I grew up, 90s, Michael Jordan, Bulls. Every Bulls game was worth watching, even during the regular season. So Bulls, Bears, they're awful a lot, but I still love them. I went to Cubs and White Sox games a lot as a kid, so but if I had to choose one, I'd go with the Chicago Cubs. And then I tend to I don't want to be like a bandwagon person, but I tend to enjoy the teams of where I live. There are a few select teams that I will just always hate, or they've been rivals of Chicago teams before. But I love the Dodgers. I've always liked them. Now I love them that I'm here, and they won the World Series, and like every single player is amazing and likable. So, but mostly the Chicago teams, and then Purdue. I went to Purdue and try to root on the Boilermakers as well, but they've had their struggles. Drew Brees was a quarterback at Purdue when I was there, so that was a good time for football.
Least favorite sports teams?
Least favorite teams, probably the Yankees, like New York teams in general, and then also just teams that are always successful, and you just kind of like, as a person who has had bad sports teams that I've been a fan of, it's hard to not hate the successful ones, right? So like the Patriots, nothing against them other than the fact that they would just win all the time with Tom Brady. So kind of like against the teams that always win over and over.
What's one item you can't live without?
I cannot live without coffee in the morning. I can't live without my phone. I'm on my phone too much, and then I hate when I'm on it too much, and I realize that I've been sitting on it for an hour doing nothing. Maybe like recently, now that I'm in California, my bike. Just getting out on my bike is a lot of fun.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Best advice I've received. I think the first thing that comes to mind is when I talk to people that are older than me, a theme that I hear often is to think about things in your life, think about how you're gonna feel about them when you're older and looking back, like looking back 20 years, 30 years. Do you wish you would have been doing this? Was stressing over this scenario really worth it when you look back at it several years in the past, or in the future, I should say. So that's kind of like a long way of saying best advice is to think about things the way you're gonna look at them when you're a lot older.
What's your pet peeve?
Pet peeve is stupidity. And I'm not calling anyone stupid. It's just stupidity is a pet peeve of mine. I'll just leave it at that.
Who is your role model?
My role model. I mean, there's, as a kid, my dad, role model for me in several ways. And then, I think that's a good question, and I should have an answer right off the bat. I can think of some, I won't name names, but I can think of some meteorologists in cities I've lived before, and I've looked at these guys like they are I love the way they do what they do. And, I think in this business and in this industry, we kind of take bits of people we admire and kind of help that, that kind of helps formulate how we do our job. So there's a select few meteorologists that I really look up to.
You're going out to celebrate? What are you ordering?
If I'm gonna celebrate, I'm ordering a good old fashioned and just like filet steak, medium, nothing crazy, not medium rare. Just good meat and a good drink.
What's something that you notice about someone when you first meet them?
Probably just their smile and whether or not they have a positive attitude.
What's your biggest regret?
Biggest regret? I don't know. I feel like I don't look back often. And I was joking before we did this that I'm not good about talking about myself, and I think part of that is because I don't think a lot about the past. So I mean, I don't have a good answer for that. I can't think of some big thing. And like I said earlier, I think negative things that have happened can sometimes be good things in the future. So I don't have a regret that stands out.
What's heavily played on your playlist right now?
Right now, so this is, as we're filming this shortly after the Super Bowl, and so a lot of Kendrick Lamar. My daughter is watching the Super Bowl halftime show on repeat like every day. So Kendrick Lamar is playing a lot in our house right now. And then I also just will listen to today's hits, whether it's pop or whatever. I just kind of I like to be in the know of what the kids are listening to these days.
What's your favorite board game?
Lately at home, we've been playing Sorry a lot, which is so basic for a board game, but I forget as a kid, playing it as an adult now, like it can be kind of savage if you want to, when you take out your kids and they're about to win the game and you move their piece back to home. So we play Sorry a lot at home lately. I don't know why, it's what we're doing.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure, probably too much social media. I used to try to read every comment I would get on my social media posts to the point where I'd feel like I was going cross-eyed, but I would do it because I want to give the people that are commenting the time of day. Like, they bother to put a comment, I would love to read it. I've gotten to a point now where I have to take care of myself and not just spend all day reading the comments. So I've kind of nudged that guilty pleasure away a little bit. And then, like I mentioned earlier, the sweets, way too much dessert. I eat way too much dessert.
What book did you most recently finish?
I think as an adult, I've read one book and parts of some others, but I'm not a big reader. The book that I read was The Obstacle is the Way, which is actually kind of like a life hack book in turning negative things into positive, not just overcoming negative things, but using them to your advantage in your life. But whenever I'm reading, I feel like there's so many other things I could be doing at that moment. Whether it's thinking of things, to be creative on social media or whatever. I just feel like I could be advancing my life more. It doesn't sound great, and no teacher wants to hear this, but I feel like I could be doing other things and thinking of other things instead of relaxing and reading in the moment.
Who is your biggest inspiration or motivator?
Biggest inspiration or motivator? I look to my wife for like a lot of things that I'm weak in, she's strong in. So she's inspirational to me. She deals with a lot while I'm at work, and that's kind of been the story in my career. Is whenever there's a major weather disaster, I'm required, at my job, and a lot of times she's left to handle it on her own and handle the kids and handle the house. And if the roles were reversed, I don't think I'd be handling it as well as she does. So she's an inspiration to me.
How do you start your day?
Start my day, wake up and get on my phone immediately. Even if I have to get to the bathroom, for some reason, the first thing I do is like catch up on a few emails or look at social media. And then take care of my biological needs, and we'll go to the bathroom or something like that. But then it's immediately to coffee. Love coffee in the morning. It's such a great part of my day.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, because there's not the pressure of gifts. It's kind of just like a party. You get together with family, sometimes friends, with the only goal being hang out, eat food, maybe watch some football. And if the Super Bowl were a holiday, that'd be one of my favorites too.
If you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would it be?
Who would I switch with? I think in the past, I was so obsessed with Dave Matthews and Dave Matthews Band when I was just kind of getting into quality music as a kid. So I think at that time I would have chosen to switch places with Dave Matthews. And I think as I'm saying this, I think it'd be like any rock star or performer. I think it would blow my mind to be able to switch places with whoever that person is, be on a stage, have a whole stadium just going nuts and wanting you to do what you do. So yeah, like a rock star, just fill in the blank, any rock star. I think that experience performing in a massive stadium would be incredible.
What's one thing you've always wanted to do but have been too scared to try?
I've never done karaoke, and I am not a good singer, and I don't plan on trying to do karaoke ever. I'm a musical person. I think I have a good ear for music. I enjoy music a lot. I don't have the tool or the instrument to make it come out of my mouth in the way that it should. So I've never done karaoke.
What's one thing you wish you knew at age 19?
At age 19, I wish I knew that all the shyness and awkwardness I felt at that age would kind of go away. And as you get older, you realize that I think for most people, you kind of care less about what others think about you. And that's kind of a nice feeling, to be kind of at peace with yourself and not worry about how you look to others.
Besides your phone and wallet, what are a couple of must-have items?
A wallet, first of all, is not a must-have. I hate having a wallet with me. I love that things are going digital on the phone now. You can pay with your phone. So phone is a must-have. Wallet, I like to leave behind as often as possible. Must-haves, comfortable clothing, like sweats, sneakers, and I think I've said this many times already, but that coffee early in the morning is a must-have also.
If you weren't doing your current job, what would you be doing?
So if I wasn't a meteorologist, I think this is like much different. I would enjoy anything around golf. And I grew up playing golf a lot, and I was actually a caddy. It was my first job. And just the feeling of being on a golf course, which first of all is like one of the most beautiful, just well-manicured pieces of earth on land. And then just the vibe of a golf course, being there, everyone's in a good mood, everyone's happy to be there. I could see myself working in some capacity, I don't know what, but working at a golf course or on a golf course, just that would not be so bad. Like golf course management, that's probably a profession, so let's choose that.
What's something you can't do?
So what I can't do, I mentioned I can't sing well. I feel like I can't dance well either, and I don't get it because I can like understand beats pretty well. Yeah, singing and dancing, unfortunately. I'm also kind of realizing like I'm not the greatest communicator, but like maybe like emotional communicator, like with my wife. And I can have a conversation and not give like much of a reaction through my face, or I might give like an audible like sound effect instead of actually like responding with meaningful words. So maybe like just that communication and listening, I'm working on that right now.
Where was the best vacation you've ever taken?
I think my favorite vacations have always been involving skiing. And I've skied at all kinds of locations, but that's my favorite thing to do. It's just a great combination of scenery and like the activity you're doing. And to me, there's nothing like skiing. It's just such a thrill. Grew up doing it with my dad, enjoy doing it with my kids now. And it's a really good like bonding family thing.
What's one city you've always dreamed of traveling to?
So I have done very little international travel. So I've never been to Europe at all. And you just pick any city in Europe. I think like Italy seems like it'd be cool. So name a place in Italy. That would be a city I should try to get to.
What's something you always travel with?
I'm bad about traveling with necessities, and I kind of rely on my wife to have the whole, you know, anything we might need, she's got it with her, whether it's medicine or something like that. But I guess AirPods, gotta have the AirPods, listen to some music on the plane.
Favorite food?
Favorite food is pizza, no doubt. Barbecue chicken pizza, to be specific. And yeah, I could eat pizza every day. It's good stuff.
Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert is baklava.
Favorite snack?
Favorite snack, chips and salsa.
The best place to eat in LA?
Best place to eat in LA. I have been bad about exploring outside of my immediate area. I went to a place, okay, so this comes to mind. I went to a place recently called Palms and Patties, which I think they've been only open a couple of weeks. They're like smash burgers, and they're very good. It took a very long time to get the food, and I think they're going through some like opening pains, but it's an amazing burger. So I will say Palms and Patties, which is, I think they have a couple locations around LA.
What's a movie that made you cry?
So since I've had kids, I like will cry at the stupidest things that just switched an emotional thing in my brain. So yeah, any like family moment in a movie where it's like a dad and their kids, but it could be, I'm thinking of like, it's not like, it wouldn't even be a sad movie. It's just the random things. I can't think of a good example right now, but things will get me to tear up that in the past I don't understand. You know, like I would never tear up at this thing, and since I've had kids, especially if it's like family related, I will tear up and kind of like walk to the kitchen and get a snack and act like I'm not crying so no one sees.
What's the one talent you wish you had?
I wish I could sing impeccably. I think it's the coolest thing to be able to do that. Like I said, can't do it. I have an ear for music. I can hear the fact that I'm not a good singer. Wish I could do it. And then I probably would try karaoke, which like I said, I've never done.
What's your favorite exercise?
For exercise, I can't stand running. I think it's good exercise. I get bored in a couple minutes. I like riding around on my bike, especially near the beach here in California. That's just, you can't beat it. What's
your favorite band?
My favorite band is, I'm all over the place on that one. Since I just mentioned biking, it's a special thing for me to listen to Red Hot Chili Peppers while on a bike along the sidewalk, along the beach in California, and there is something amazing about that. They have embodied the sound of California, in my opinion, so I'll say Red Hot Chili Peppers.
What's your favorite fast food order?
Fast food, a burger. In-N-Out, I like a lot. There was a local chain back in Texas where I lived that I liked a lot as well, but just a good burger, nothing crazy. The basic lettuce, tomato, pickles, ketchup, mustard, something like that.
What's something you don't want to be doing in 10 years?
In 10 years, I don't want to be on my phone as much as I am right now.
What's the cutest thing on planet Earth?
The cutest thing on planet Earth is seeing my kids laugh or smile.
What's your favorite cocktail?
Favorite cocktail, old fashioned. Especially if they can get the smoky, like, I've seen them do like wood chips and they get the smoke like infused into it. I don't do that at home, but that's good stuff right there.
Which movie makes you laugh the hardest?
Funniest movies to me, I think back to like the Chris Farley, Adam Sandler stuff. So Happy Gilmore or Billy Madison or Black Sheep, kind of that genre.
What do you usually eat for lunch?
For lunch, I'm a sandwich guy. Love a good sandwich. Just stuffing a bunch of things into it. And I think that stems from my dad, who was like a sandwich expert. So I could do a sandwich for lunch every day.
What do you usually eat for breakfast?
So lately I've enjoyed skipping breakfast. I'll do the coffee and I'll kind of hold off on, I love cereal, but I can also go until lunchtime without eating breakfast and it doesn't bug me at all.
What's your favorite thing in the world?
Favorite thing in the world has to be spending time with my family and my kids that are growing up way too quick, so I'm trying to hold on to those moments when I get them.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What color clothing do you wear the most?
Blue.
What are 3 words to describe living in Los Angeles?
Cool, like it's just cool to be here. Beautiful and lucky.
Do you like surprises?
No, I do not like surprises.
What's one thing you had to learn the hard way?
One thing I had to learn the hard way, I think, is patience, especially in a career, but also in life. I think patience goes a long way, and I think as you get older, maybe you get more patient. At least that's how I felt. So let's go with patience.
What's something you're tired of?
Tired of. So before I came here, I was working a morning shift in TV, which morning shift means like you get up in the middle of the night. I was literally and figuratively tired of that morning shift. It's not for me. Like I said, I'm a night person. I was just so tired of waking up very early, which I don't have to do, thank goodness, right now.
Who do you turn to when you're sad?
Turn to my wife when I'm sad.
What's a trend you'd like to see disappear forever?
A trend that can disappear forever. I can't help but think of social media, and there's just dances that are just stupid I can't think of a better word. I don't know why they became a thing. I don't know why they became a trend, but some of those dance trends can just go away.
What did you want to do with your life at age 12?
When I was 12, I was clueless. And even when I had to choose a degree to go to college and something to major in, I felt pretty clueless also. I went with meteorology because I was like, I think I like this. And I kind of learned to like it more actually in the future. But no, when I was 12, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just running around with my friends outside, played in the woods a lot, and played a lot of Nintendo at 12. I don't know what I would what I would consider doing when I was that age.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited about life are you?
10 right now. Things are great. I feel like I should have been living in LA my whole life. I love it here. I don't know why it took so long to get here. And so let's go with a 10.
Describe yourself in a hashtag.
Hashtag blessed. I feel like people would use that one a lot, but I feel blessed.
If you could do a love scene with anybody, who would it be?
There's only one answer. I'll say my wife. Any other answer would be wrong, I suppose. I guess I can think of a few people. Well, let's just say my wife.
What's your wake-up ritual?
Waking up in the morning, I'm bad about getting up. It's usually, so with the kids, we need to get them up for school. My wife gets up before I do and then yells from another room, like, everyone get up. And then my kids and we all ignore her. And so she's kind of like the snooze that goes off a few times. She yells from the other room to get up. So I'm just slow at getting out of bed. Like I said, first thing I do, unfortunately, is look at notifications on my phone.
What's your go-to-bed ritual?
Go-to-bed ritual lately has been playing video games to kind of like clear my mind before bed, although it probably like mentally keeps me awake a lot longer. But my son got me into playing Rocket League, which is just a dumb game where it's like soccer, but you're cars. And I like just hopping on, trying to beat some people in 10 minutes, and then I can just go to bed after I kind of like cleanse myself of the day with some mindless video games.
What's one thing that no one knows about you?
What does no one know about me? I mentioned the tear on the back of my pants earlier, so not too many people know about that. And then I think it's just those like I don't think anyone in this building here knows that I was a gymnast in high school, and I mentioned that earlier too. So let's just go with those random fun facts.
Dream country to visit.
Dream country to visit. Actually, so I mentioned Italy earlier, but I think Australia would be cool. And I've actually, when I started getting the social media momentum, I was on a few Australian shows live. Like I did a live, kind of like the Today show in Australia. So they had me on live there, and I did a national radio show in Australia. I think I have a lot of fans there for whatever reason. So I'd like to visit there and say hello.
What's the biggest surprise you've had?
The biggest surprise I think that comes to mind, a lot of this is gonna kind of come back to social media stuff, but I kind of felt like, when I first started doing the TikTok posts or whatever, maybe not a lot of people are seeing, or some of them would get seen by a lot of people, but obviously I'm doing a lot of lyrics for musicians, and I had always wondered, are they actually seeing this stuff? And over time I started learning, yes, they're seeing it. One of the biggest surprises to me was when Snoop Dogg commented on my video and shared one of my videos, and that kind of sent me off on this trajectory of, like I mentioned, doing these shows in Australia. I mean, that all stemmed from like this international news that Snoop Dogg shared my video, and I kind of went on like a press tour, I felt like, after that. So that was a really, really crazy moment for me.
Who do you want to write your obituary?
Let's go with Snoop Dogg to write my obituary. That'd be sweet. I'd like to see what he'd come up with.
What's one ingredient you put in everything?
Barbecue sauce.
What 3 people, living or dead, would you like to make dinner for?
Who would I like to make dinner for? So I think it would just be like 3 people I'd want to hang out with. So let's just go with like Jimmy Fallon, Justin Timberlake, because they're awesome as a duo. And then throw in another fun person. I like the late night guys. So like Stephen Colbert. Let's get that random trio of people together. I'd make dinner for them.
What's your biggest fear in life?
Biggest fear in life might be having regrets. I mentioned earlier, I don't really look back at having many of them, but I fear, I guess, getting to a point where I have regrets. It's not like I feel like one of the common answers is like death. I mean, it's grim to talk about. I don't feel like that's a big fear though. It's kind of gonna happen when it happens and whatever, and I can't control that too much. But I think just having like some really big regrets, maybe, I'm sure I'm gonna wish that I spent more time with my kids. No matter how much time I spend with them, I think there's never enough. And so I'll probably look back at that and wish that we just spent every single moment together.
What's your current TV obsession?
I hardly watch TV. But with the little bit of time I have lately, I've started rewatching How I Met Your Mother.
Favorite app?
Favorite app is Instagram.
Secret talent?
Secret talent, what can I do? I don't know. So knowing this was coming up, I figured this might be a question. I asked my wife what she thinks I would say is my secret talent, and her joke was that finishing off desserts, like other people's desserts, and also not worrying about stuff, she said is a talent of mine, that I have this like ability to not worry. She worries a lot, but I think I let a lot of stuff not get to me, let time kind of sort things out. So let's say not worrying is a special talent of mine.
A superpower you would want?
A superpower, I think invisibility would be cool, to be able to like listen in on things secretly.
The best advice you'd give your teenage self?
Advice for my teenage self would probably be patience goes a long way, and maximum effort. Like you can effort your way to a lot of things. You just need to give more effort than the other person who might be competing with you to get to, let's say, like a position for a job or something like that. But if you put in enough effort, you'd be blown away at what you can accomplish.
What would you like to be remembered for?
I think I'd like to be remembered a couple things. One is just a good father and husband, a caring person, but also as someone who brought joy to a lot of people. And I never would have seen that coming going back a couple of years. And there's all these people on social media that are just fans, and it seems like it means a lot to them what I'm doing. So that'll be pretty cool to be remembered by.
How do you define beauty?
Funny. Being funny is beautiful. Let's just leave it at that.
What do you love most about yourself?
What I love most about myself, I think that I'm a positive, easygoing person. I like to have fun, kind of playful. I feel like a kid a lot of times, and I like that.
How do you handle stress?
I handle stress pretty well. I don't get rattled too much. It's not like I have like a go-to thing. But for some reason, I just don't get fazed. Even high pressure, severe weather situations, let's say, and I've had a lot of those in my career. I just rely on the fact that I know what I'm talking about, and I don't know, I can kind of stay calm and cool under pressure.
Best way to take a rest or decompress?
To decompress, video games, mindless video games, just a short 5 or 10 minutes, nothing that takes my whole day to figure out, but that's why I like Nintendo a lot. It wasn't too complicated. Jump on, play a game, clear your mind, and then you're done.
Favorite place to view art?
To view art? I think what people are putting on social media these days, there's a lot of like really good content that actually I would say is art. And I appreciate that and people's ability to capture your attention in just a couple of seconds. I think that is an art. So it's not paintings and stuff. I'm not a big museum person. So just creative, clever content online to me is art that I love to watch.
If you could master one instrument, what would it be?
I think guitar, and I can kind of play guitar, and I'm like self-taught with guitar, but I would love to be able to like really just master it. So guitar is the coolest.
If you had a tattoo, where would it be?
Would never get one, don't have one. It would be somewhere where no one would ever see it. Just not, I don't want to commit to a tattoo, so I will never have one.
Do you prefer texting or talking on the phone?
Texting over talking.
What's your spirit animal?
Maybe a dog, like a fun, playful dog. Let's say a golden retriever.
Best gift you've ever received?
Best gift. I'm really bad with gifts, and I actually prefer to not get them. Like I got an espresso machine once, and that thing I used every day for years. So that was a good gift. But I also would prefer to not get gifts. I don't want the attention of how I react to getting it. I kind of have what I need. I don't need more stuff. So gift cards would be fine too, because then it's not an actual thing. I want less stuff in my life.
Best gift you've ever given?
So I think one of the most meaningful gifts I gave my wife was a picture for her birthday. And our kids, my two kids were probably like, let's say 6 and 4 years old or something like that. And I had them pose as letters to spell out "Happy Birthday, Mom." And I did from above like pictures of them. So they would like, the two of them, for the H would kind of like lay out on the floor for the H. So I did pictures of them making all the letters, and then put that all together on a collage that spelled out "Happy Birthday, Mom." And the kids were in their matching PJs, and it turned out really well, and she teared up. So that was a good one.
Least favorite color?
Least favorite color is maybe green, but I can't, I for work, I'm in front of the green screen. I can't ever wear green. And so let's just say green.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
If I won the lottery, I'd panic. I don't think I would handle the stress well that I have this thing that is worth, whatever it's worth, like the ticket, I mean. So people are like elated when they win the lottery. I would immediately panic and stress and think of how to put the ticket in a metal box and contact a lawyer and not want to tell anyone. I would be way more stressed than happy. I think eventually I'd be able to buy something that would make me happy if I won the lottery, but I think I'd have a hard time enjoying it.
You said you've never sang karaoke,
right? But
if you did, what would your go-to karaoke song be?
A go-to karaoke song would be whatever has the lowest notes. I can't get up there. So I don't know a specific song. Maybe like Red Hot Chili Peppers seems like, I could probably handle singing a few of their songs, so let's go with that.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Comfort food, probably pizza or burgers, which is comfort food or non-comfort food. I could eat a pizza or a burger every day. I've had really nice meals and I've been sitting there being like, I wish I was just eating a burger or pizza instead. It's good for all occasions.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, for sure.
What's the weirdest word in the English language?
Cyclogenesis, which is a weather term for like a storm kind of coming together. I think that's kind of a weird one that most people don't know.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Stairs or elevator?
I like to take the stairs, get some steps, why not?
Summer or winter?
Okay, so I moved here from Texas, and summer is like the enemy there. You are stuck inside, it's too hot to go outside, even at night it's too hot sometimes. So I've been anti-summer for years. Now I feel like I would say summer because this is LA, right? It's just like, it's nice all the time pretty much. So let's go summer.
You're stuck on an island. You can pick one food to eat forever without getting tired of it. What would you eat?
Pizza, easy.
A dessert you don't like.
Oh, I don't like fruity things that are almost trying to be healthy. Like a chocolate covered strawberry. Like, no thanks. Just give me the chocolate. I don't need fruit. So anything fruity, not for me.
A skill you're working on mastering.
Better listening in a conversation. And I think part of that is my career. I'm giving a monologue a lot of the time. You know, it's not like a back and forth. So listening to what people are saying and like giving some meaningful insight back is not that I can't do it, but it's a skill that I'm working on.
Best thing to happen to you today.
Today, best thing, I went back to bed after my kids went to school, slept till 11 a.m. I felt like I just needed rest. And so that was like my morning. I just got more sleep than I needed, but a good, just going back to bed nap.
Worst thing to happen to you today.
Worst thing today. So I'm not that comfortable talking about myself. So leading up to this was maybe the worst thing. Now that I'm sitting here, it's okay. But just like the build up to doing this maybe was like giving me some anxiety.
Favorite smell?
Favorite smell? It's gotta be food related. I've talked about pizza like 100 times so far, but maybe like a fresh baked pizza. And then also in nature, like right after it rains, is a pretty cool smell too.
If you made a documentary, what would it be about?
I think for me, the documentary would have to be about this insane rise I've had in social media. Yeah, it'd have to be about that, like the rise of this popular thing I've created. I'm like, now I have to put out like entertaining content, which again, a couple years ago, I would never think that that would be me.
Last piece of content you consumed that made you cry.
Ooh, I'm a sucker for like with music with anything. So it just like draws this emotion out of me. So, I can't think of a specific video, but I tear up at a lot of them. And so especially like music kind of like just, you know, pulls those emotions out of you.
How you know you're in love.
So how you know you're in love? My experience when I met my now wife is I felt like I was at an age, I was in my 20s. I felt like I wasn't ready to get married, and for no good reason, but I just felt like that. And then when I met her, I was like, crap, like I'm gonna marry her. Like jokingly, like darn, right? But I just knew, like done looking, like this is the person. Maybe this is gonna happen earlier than I would have scripted it, but yeah, just right off the bat, it was like, she's the one I'm gonna marry. So I think you just know is my advice there.
What are you most excited about at this time in your life?
At this time in my life, I'm excited to see how far I can take what I'm doing on social media, and a level I haven't gotten to yet is having like a major star come into the studio here with me and do something fun with the weather. Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, and I know these guys have seen my stuff, so that would be like the next level thing that I would love to be able to make happen.
Your go-to for having a good laugh.
For having a good laugh, stand-up comedy. Just nothing can get a laugh out of me like some good stand-up.
Your affirmation for today.
Affirmation for today. Don't look back.
What's your rating of the sit?
My rating of the sit. The sit is the Oh, lights off. Wait, we haven't been rolling this whole time, have we?